Cascade Hoops Talk, bringing the world NAIA basketball one podcast at a time. Cascade Hoops Talk, Billy D, happy Thursday to you. Well, today we're going to continue our player interviews. We're going to have Desean Hampton out of IU Kokomo. This young man, he played at Speedway, Indiana, small high school there. Wasn't really sure if he was going to get a chance to play college basketball. Went up to Illinois, played some JUCO ball. Had a friend, a guy you might have heard of, Tracon Spivey. He was playing down at IU Kokomo. It turned out those two guys played basketball since elementary. It really surprised me, but he'll talk about that. He went down to IU Kokomo. I believe he played 3 seasons there, and they were all very successful. Really a nice guy. I met him out in Kansas City. He was preparing for the dunk contest, and anybody who knows me know that I pretty much just walk up to anybody and talk to him. I really liked him. He was a nice guy. I said, "Hey, would you be on the show?" And he said yes. So here we have Desean Hampton, NAIA All-American, IU Kokomo basketball. Cascade Hoops Talk, Billy D. Hey, I have Desean Hampton, second team All-American out of IU Kokomo. Welcome, Desean. Thank you for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
You know, you had a just an amazing basketball career. It started there at Speedway High School. That was a small 2A school. Your senior year, you guys kind of struggled a little bit. You know, Desean, were you ever concerned that you would get the opportunity to play college basketball?
At one moment after, because I know, coming out of high school, you have some high school players who have high expectation of offers and stuff. Like me, going to Speedway, playing my last season and not coming out with any offers, I kind of expected or thought, I wasn't going to be able to play or continue to play.
Yeah, it really makes it tough. Speedway is a 2A school, and then you guys struggled, too, your senior year. You were even a great rebounder then, though. You know, for your entire high school career, you averaged, I think it's 12 or 13 rebounds a game. Have you always been a good rebounder?
I just love defense and rebounding and having a nose for the ball.
Is that something somebody instilled in you, or that's just the part of the game you love?
It was kind of both. Part of the game I loved, then just hearing from my AAU coach saying you should want every ball that's coming off the rim, offense or defense wise. Yeah,
because every ball you grab, that's another possession, man. How did you end up deciding you wanted to JC up in Illinois at Wabash Valley College?
So I know, because coming out of high school, I wanted to make a highlight tape for myself, and our head coach, he didn't really like us wanted us to do that to let it go to our head. So my assistant coach, Jim Murley, he helped reach out to Danville where he had played at, and then he reached out to Mike Carpenter at Wabash, who he had played for back in the day, and he had took me on.
So you pack your bags, you leave Indiana, you go up to Illinois. You played on I don't remember what you guys' record was, but you had some really good players on that team. Tyrese Williford, Austin Trice on that team that year?
Yeah, Austin Trice, Marcus Garrett.
Yeah, he went to Moorhead. Trice, he went to Kansas State. What about Antonio Givens? He ended up at Kent State. Was he on that team with you guys?
Yes, sir.
So you guys were pretty good. How much of an eye-opener was that for you, Desean? Here you come out of Speedway High, and now you're playing with these guys. You know, they were really good basketball players.
I personally, even though I didn't really play a lot in the games, with them, I probably got in at the end of the games. I mean, it was still a lot to learn from them off the court and even on the court during practice. So, I mean, I still had a good experience watching them as I grew as a basketball player, even though I was an undersized big man.
Do you think that kind of helped your transition out of high school to play with such talented players there at Wabash?
Yes. It helped me out a lot, because seeing how much aggressive that they are and how much they want to wanted to go to a next level in their basketball career, and learning from that, then me taking that on as I came to IU Kokomo and putting that towards my game.
You learned how to be hungry, didn't you?
Yes, sir.
So you played 1 year there at Wabash. Did you enjoy being up in Illinois? Did you miss Indiana?
Yeah, I missed a lot, kind of far from it, but I had Indiana State right next to me where I had my sister and I had a couple family members and people from high school that went there, so they weren't far from me, so I can go up there up on weekends to visit them, even though the drive from Wabash to Indy was kind of far.
Yeah, I was like, okay, so that's good. You had some family around. So talk about the decision. How did you end up the next year over at Kokomo?
See, like how it was, they were getting a new coach. Once the season was over at Wabash, I contacted one of my closest friend from he plays for IU Kokomo, Traquan Spivey.
Yeah.
Me and him played AAU ball with each other since 7th grade, and reached out to him, and he reached out to the new coach, Eric Eckelbarger and Roosevelt Jones, who were now being recruited for him. And once they came there and got me on a visit and got me do open gym with them and do a layup, I've never seen it, but Eric had me do layup lines for really on my visit. And after he seen me being athletic as I am, he was like, yeah, I want him.
and the rest was history. So you played with Traquan. Did you play on the same team as him in AAU or against him, or?
We played on the same team because he's played on the AAU team that I joined him. He's played on that AAU team since he was 4th, 5th grade, and I joined him in 7th grade, and we played every summer.
Oh wow! So you guys go way back, huh?
Yes.
Oh, how fun was that to play with him in college? And you guys had a really good college career. How fun was that?
It was very fun during AAU, but it was even more fun during college.
Yeah, I bet. So you get to Kokomo in the first year. You go 27-7. You guys had a pretty good year. You went up to Sioux Falls. You played the first day of the tournament. You beat a really good Madonna team. They had that one really good player, and I was trying to remember his name, but you guys beat them. And then, of course, the tournament got canceled. How frustrating was that? You guys had a chance that year.
Yeah, we was all really hurt because that team, we knew the team that we had that year was really good and was really going to go.
Yeah, that was frustrating for everybody. You had a great first year there at Kokomo. You had 90 blocks. What makes you a good shot blocker?
Just reading the timing. So in high school, I was a good shot blocker in high school. I would try to time it because I know in high school I used to foul probably a little bit often. Then once coming in here, I kind of timed it a little bit. So once I see them leave their feet, I know that's time for me to leave mine because they can't come back down with it.
Was that the toughest thing to learn? Because if you jump at the wrong time, right, you're going to come down on a guy. That must have been tough to learn.
It was kind of tough to learn. Then like just watching throughout the whole game, just reading them and also reading the ball as well, like the spin of it.
If I could jump like you, I'd be up all the time. I'd be fouled out in 3 minutes. The next year there at Kokomo, you guys only got to play 9 games. It really wasn't a season. And then that brought you into this season. And you guys had a really good year. You went 32-4. Just talk about your team this year.
Since I got here, I made their jobs easier on offense because I know my first year here, they kind of struggled with offense and defense wise before I got here. Then once I got here, I helped them out, told them if you get beat, just let them come, and I'll make your job easier.
You were the insurance policy back there.
Yes, sir.
I talked to, when I was mentioning Kansas City, they're in the River States Conference this year. Early in the season, there was just a ton of talk about Alice Lloyd and West Virginia Tech. You guys just kind of lurked back there. You beat both those schools, and you ended up really kind of dominating that conference kind of quietly. Were you a little bit surprised it took you guys a while to get noticed, I guess? I don't know if that's the right word, but.
I wouldn't probably say it's that. I'll probably say, because both West Virginia Tech and Alice Lloyd are very well-respected teams in the conference and in the NAIA, and no doubt, they're pretty good. And I know a lot of teams have, like, just the way how they play and how they're well-coached, and, like, people love to see that. And then next thing you have us who are, Like, we have our ups and downs.
Mm-hmm. You know, there was one game you guys you went and played an exhibition at Ball State, and then you had to go to Gary, I think it's in Gary, and play IU Northwest. And you guys really didn't play very well. You were up by 14 at half, and then you couldn't find the ocean in the second half. You went 0 from 3. You went 6 for 26 from the field. You struggled. You played 36 minutes. You only scored 6 points. But after that game, you guys never lost another game until Concordia. You went on a 20-game winning streak. Was there something? Did you guys change? Did something change after that IU Northwest loss?
I'll say, I know, because before the Ball State game, we had played IU Southeast at Southeast, and I didn't play either or them games because I was sitting out because I was a close contact with COVID. So it kind of readjusted me being back in the lineup with them after sitting out for 2 games and coming back to the one after sitting out for so long.
So there wasn't like some big team meeting afterwards or anything where you guys adjusted your approach or anything. It was just kind of the timing of it, huh?
Yeah, there was a meeting about it, because normally if you see teams who are up by 20, and normally you don't, we'll see good teams that's up by 20. Most times you'll see teams that will keep the foot on the gas. But as we had let up and had miscommunications in that game, and we went over it in practice and just had to come together and make sure we stayed together through all of it.
Yeah, see, that's what I kind of suspected, that seeing that you were up you were up by quite a bit at half, and you know, you're a better team than what you played in the second half. But boy, you guys from there on, I mean, you guys were really on fire. You won the River States, you won the River States tourney. Congratulations on that. That was a huge accomplishment. You made it to the NAIA tournament. You did not have an easy road, did you?
Not at all. Down that road.
You had to go to William Penn for those first 2 rounds. What were you thinking packing your bags going up there?
We're going to be up there for a good time, not a long time, and make sure we get the job done.
Were you seriously concerned knowing that you had to play Dort and William Penn?
I mean, we kind of went over it and knowing, like, they're both good teams, and we all know how the atmosphere is going to be when we get up there, because they're both from Iowa, and they're the big basketball state.
The first team you had to play was Dort, and they're how in the world did you score, 82 points on them? They usually hold teams to about 60 points, and that was a dogfight, wasn't it, that Dort game?
Yeah.
You guys, you were up by 7 with 3 minutes to go, and then they made it a 2-point game, but you were able to clamp them down that last minute. Did they have a lot of fans there, Dort?
It was loud.
Yeah, I can imagine. They get really crazy fans at Dort, so I was curious about that.
Yeah, they want. I mean, their fans wanted it as bad as they did, but I mean, even though we didn't have a big crowd of ourselves, but we all know we wanted it more.
So what was the key that last minute? Because they got within 2, and in the last minute they had 3 shots. They missed a layup, they missed a 3, and then they turned it over. You know, what was the key to stopping them down the stretch?
Really, just stopping their main key players was their 2 guards. But as you could see the stats from their big guy, because he started dominating the second half and kind of using his body against me and started going to work. So we had to end up stopping him since they were mainly going on him. So it's kind of icing their 2 best players. And
then that brought you got past that game. You're going to go up against William Penn at William Penn. How crazy was the gym that day?
The gym was pretty wild. Probably not as wild as Dort, but it was pretty wild.
Oh, really? So the Dort game was louder?
Yes.
Oh, really? Oh, man, good on the Dort fans. You guys, William Penn came down. They hit a shot. It looked like, from a fan's perspective, it looked like they had you beat. You know, just talk through that last 15 seconds.
Like earlier in the season when we played Taylor, Alante Harper had hit a big shot to go ahead in the 3. So we all thought he was going to do that. And they probably watched film thinking like Alante is probably going to take the last shot. But once they closed in, Alante read their defense. And as they were closing in on him, they seen Julian Hunter down on the block by himself. And as that shot goes, I mean, Julian Hunter hits that shot all the time in practice. And
So was Alante a decoy?
I wouldn't say decoy because he was getting ready to shoot the ball. And, I mean, we all had faith in him shooting that ball, but he read their defense, and he passed it down Julian.
Man, he canned it.
Yeah, and he always hits that shot, and like I guard Julian in practice, and he shoots it like very high, so I can't get it, and it still goes in.
So that was basically a buzzer beater. Talk about, what was that like? You just beat the number one team in the country. You're going to go to Kansas City. You're going to make the final 16.
I mean, it felt great to go back to the Sweet 16 for my third time.
Yeah,
With IU Kokomo. It felt I wouldn't say relief, but I did feel relief because if Julian would have probably missed it, I mean, I probably would have took the blame for the loss because the shot that they hit before it. But I'm just happy that he had hit that shot and had the confidence.
yeah, that was a huge win for your program, and as you say, most importantly, Kokomo is just right there every year. You go to Kansas City now. You guys played Concordia. Did you feel like you guys were really struggling that day?
The only thing I'd probably say we struggled with was just our communication, because either our communication would be nobody would talk or it was late. And like Concordia, they're very talented, and they like their sets. They had one set and they had options out of options, so they always had a backup plan on top of their backup plan, and like they executed very well.
Everybody who plays Concordia talks about their execution, and they kind of play as one unit. They're really tight, but they out rebounded you, and I didn't think that would happen.
Yeah, I mean, I would say I'm surprised too, but at the same time, it's Sweet 16. It's either win or go home. It's
Yeah.
who wanted more on the boards. They wanted the boards more.
Well, definitely a great season for Kokomo. Don't want to take, not taking anything away. When you get down to one game, right? Everything is one game. Noah Shutt played a great game against you guys. Concordia played a very good game. But still, it was, just talk about the season. You ended up making, as you said, the third final 16.
I mean, like, we always had fun with the like volleyball players because they always make the NAIA tournament. They always say how they're D1. So we make the Sweet 16 for 2 years back to back, and then they was like, well, you're still D2 and it's easier for y'all. So coming into all one divisions D1, then making it to Sweet 16 again, just I wouldn't say prove them wrong, but just to show them that we can do it too as D1 as them. So
that sounds like an internal rivalry there.
I wouldn't say rivalry. It's just having fun with them because just let them know that we can still do it too.
So Desean, after you guys lost that game, how did it work out that you ended up in the dunk contest?
Originally, because how it was, I thought the dunk contest was after the dunk contest, and the 3-point contest was normally after the season's over with completely. But then once we lost, I texted one of the guys, or texted my coach asking, can they get me in because they needed an extra player. My coach had texted the guy that was up at the center, and he was like, he can get me in tomorrow.
Yeah, that was awesome. That was fun, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was pretty fun, exciting. It was because it was my very first dunk contest ever.
Well, that had to be. I'm glad they fit you in. I mean, you really added to it. It was that was a lot of fun. Just talk for a minute. What has it meant to you to be such a big part of IU Kokomo basketball?
I mean, it meant a lot to me, like how much I can contribute defensively mainly, but then my offense as well, because apparently teams do very good on the scout and they know who I am. Like seeing how much they would bring down on me just to try to get me out of my game, man. I mean, sometimes they can probably pull it off, but I won't give up to stop fighting and helping for my team.
Hey, Desean, I guarantee you the week before, the coaches are always saying, you got to keep Hampton off the board. I guarantee you that's what they're saying all week. So, Desean, what's next for you?
What's next for me? Hopefully, I can go and find an agent to play overseas. Hopefully, I keep the basketball career, keep going. If not, then I always have a backup plan after. Go back to keep working and then go and get married next year in June.
Congratulations.
June 17th. Thank you.
You majored in business. Have you graduated, or when do you graduate?
2 weeks is graduation.
Oh, congratulations. That's amazing. That's great. And you might as well see how far you can take the basketball thing. I tell everybody, your skill is perishable. And so you might as well see how far it can take you.
Yeah.
Well, Desean, I really appreciate you taking the time. I enjoyed meeting you in Kansas City. And for people who don't know, this guy's not only a great basketball player, he's a great person. I really enjoyed meeting you, Desean. And thank you very much for being on.
Thank you for having me.
That's Desean Hampton, All-American at IU Kokomo. Thank you.
Thank you.